Tonight's first period on the Comcast Network is brought to you by Supercuts. Check out supercuts.com to find a convenient salon location near you. Rock the cuts at Supercuts. By Rothman Institute at Jefferson, exclusive orthopedic and healthcare provider of the Philadelphia Flyers. And by your local Chevy dealers.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Ariel
Rose with the national anthem from the BB&T Center here in Sunrise, Florida. First of 3 meetings this season between the Flyers and Panthers. Their only meeting here in this building. They'll play twice up in Philadelphia. Well, opportunity comes knocking for some players due to injury, and that has been the case for one Nick Schultz. With more on that, let's go down ice side to Chris Therien.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, JJ, when you say that. You know, in the offseason, when you look at depth guys and who you want to sign, you take a look, and I think that you make decisions according to how your season's going to go and what you're going to need maybe through the course of a long year. Nick Schultz has been that guy, and he's been a pleasant surprise for the Flyers. He's playing good minutes, a good number of minutes for probably what he expected coming in this year, later in his career, and blocking shots in almost every game. He's been really, really good. And a real pleasant addition for this Flyer team.
And the Flyer goaltenders appreciate that. Let's take a look at our Kia starting netminder Steve Mason back in goal for the Flyers. It's his first start since October 21st. He'll go up against Roberto Luongo here in Florida.
Puck down underway here as the Flyers wearing their road white uniforms and home reds for the Panthers. The Flyers will move the puck to center ice and look to go right to the attack. And offside they go. Giroux carrying the puck in, but was beaten into the zone. So just 16 seconds in, a whistle and a face-off in the neutral zone. The captain has been red hot of late, as have been his line mates. And Craig Berube certainly happy with the performance of that line.
He has been, and makes a quick change here already. Just 16 seconds into the game, he comes out with the Sean Couturier line. It's a new look line with Braden Shen playing the left side and Matt Reed on the right side, lined up against former Flyer Scotty Upshall.
Scotty Upshall getting his first goal of the season the other night, the game winner, as the Panthers beat the Arizona Coyotes. The Panthers without a regulation loss in their last 5 games, 3-0-2, but it was a win that came at a cost. They lost 3 players due to injury in that game, and also have lost another player today due to the flu. Jonathan Huberdeau is not in the lineup and able to go for the Panthers. They're going with 7 defense and an extra defenseman and 1 less forward. You look at the Flyer combinations at the top of your screen, soon to be followed by the Panthers as the Flyers move the puck into the zone. Couturier in the backhand sends it off the outside of the net. Marked by Dmitry Kulikov, who comes up with the puck. Rabbit off the glass, hit the referee with that. Gets some help though from Nick Bjugstad, and behind the net it goes. Big hit there on Willie Mitchell by Wayne Simmons. As the Panthers move to center ice, Kulikov looking to get it back on the left wing, but misfired there, and Mark Streit has it. He's taken down, penalty. Got up. Upshaw will go to the box. He doesn't agree with the call as he immediately turns to protest, but he's going to go to the box, and the Flyers will get an early power play. Let's look at the scratches as we get set for that power play. Flyers adding Carlo Koliakovo to their roster. He is not quite ready to go, not quite in game shape. Defenseman, veteran defenseman added, and the rest there. Jason Akeson now out of the lineup with the addition of Vinny Lecavalier.
There's the little trip right there from Scotty Upshall. Mark Streit goes down, and the Flyers head to their power play early in this one.
And off the draw, the Flyers control. Streit a shot, save Luongo, rebound backhanded out of the zone by Derek McKenzie. Flyers power play, 8th ranked, almost 23%, but 1 for 13 over their last 5 games. And the Panthers struggling on the penalty kill. They were dead last in the penalty kill last season. In fact, they were dead last on both the power play and the penalty kill last year. And they're in the bottom third again in both of those specialty team units here early this season, but finding a way to win hockey games. Here's Voracek centering, and it's redirected wide by Lecavalier. Vinny Lecavalier right back out on the power play. And there he is. That puck eludes him, though, and it's cleared all the way down by Dylan Olsen.
Difficult bouncing puck there. Giroux trying to find Vinny Lecavalier with that pass, and good to have that #1 unit back together again with Lecavallier's return to the lineup.
One of their best penalty killers, though, may be their new goalie, Roberto Luongo. Guys, they haven't had a presence of a goalie like that in a long time.
Yeah, the most important penalty killer always is the goalie, and Luongo has played very well for this Panthers team here since being reacquired last year. Stability in net so important. Matt Reed toppled behind that, gets back up as he digs for that puck. He'll get it back out to the point. The second unit out for the Flyers, Nick Schultz on that second unit, got it down low. Here's Couturier out to Delzato. He'll wind and fire. It's blocked in front. I believe Willie Mitchell got that. Nick Schultz rolls it back around behind the net, and there is Mitchell to clear the zone. 33 seconds remaining in the power play. Flyers right back in, but offside is the call.
Couturier looking for that quick pass up and just goes offside. That'll make Gerard Gallant happy. He's the new head coach of the Florida Panthers this year after spending some time behind the Montreal Canadiens bench as an assistant coach with Michel Therrien. Had some good success in that role and comes back down to the state of Florida where he played some hockey for the Tampa Bay Lightning, a longtime Detroit Red Wings standout.
Also was a very successful coach in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, won a couple of titles there and a Memorial Cup. His star player was Jonathan Huberdeau, who is now, of course, with him here in Florida, although not playing tonight. We had a quick look at the scratches for the Panthers. Not only without Huberdeau, they're without Barkov, Peary, Bergenheim, and Boland. Some key forwards.
Big time. Their blue line stays intact, and that's probably an area that they've improved on the most in the offseason.
Voracek in the middle. Here's Raffala's shot, and it fluttered into the glove of Luongo, who's able to hang on.
Good puck movement there for the Flyers top line. Michael Raffl out there on the last part of the power play with Giroux and trying to make the best of his limited power play time, and he comes up with a shot towards the net that Luongo handles easily.
You do want to take advantage of your power plays against this team. The Panthers have allowed a grand total of 5 goals, 5-on-5 this year. That is the best mark in the league. They've played fewer games, but the bottom line is they're well ahead of the pack in terms of goals allowed at even strength. They've been very good defensively. They have not scored many goals, but they've found ways to stay in games and get points. Power play over for the Flyers. Back to full strength hockey here. As Luke Schenn will play it ahead to Zach Rinaldo, who is checked. Edouard Bellemare got that puck back deep with the fourth line changing for the Flyers as well, with Lecavalier back in the lineup. Bellemare now playing with Van de Velde and Rinaldo on this unit, icing the call here against Florida.
Some good size on that fourth line unit as we take a look at Luke Schenn. Speaking of size, coming off a real strong game in Craig Berube's eyes against the Tampa Bay Lightning. He was very pleased with Schenn's game, and Bellemare moves down a couple notches from the second line to the fourth, but a pretty versatile player when you have a guy like that in the lineup that can go up and down and play a lot of different positions. It's a nice luxury to have for a head coach.
And you'll still see him on the penalty kill as the Panthers move the puck into the Philadelphia zone. Schultz the first to it. Dropped it up behind the net. Upshaw picks it up. Upshaw back out to the point. Aaron Ekblad with a shot. That one's knocked down in front. Sits there. Rebound shot. Save Mason. It's still loose in the slot. Finally swept to the boards, but over to get it is Brian Campbell. Penalty upcoming against Philadelphia. Puck behind the net. Picked up. Centered. Bounces off of a flyer and finally is played by Umberger. And there's your whistle at a cross-checking penalty against the Flyers. So now the Panthers will get a bad advantage.
That's the first action that Steve Mason saw in this hockey game, fellas, and he's probably thinking, man, 4 games out, look what you treated me to first. A lot of Florida Panthers in front going after rebounds. Mason Sharp, guys, moving back and forth, and that is going to be a cross-check to Wayne Simmonds in front of the net, just trying to remove bodies. But Mason with a good job, guys, getting up and down quickly and preventing that puck from going past the goal line in any way, shape, or form. Good job. Excellent job by the defenseman, too, but Simmonds getting a little bit too much stick on the one Florida Panther.
Panthers win the draw and go right to work. Fleischmann, shot goes wide out the other side. Ekblad shot is blocked. Nick Grossman got in the way of that, and he felt it as the Flyers move the other way. Couturier swinging wide and firing wide of the net. Was all the way back out to center and down into the Philadelphia zone, where Grossman hobbles back to get to it. Forced by Boys, still has it, and will hammer it off the glass and then off Ekblad into the Philadelphia bench.
2 outstanding plays by Nicholas Grossman. The second one was easier as he got the puck out of the zone. The first one is why he's limping. It's a bank shot off the backboards. That's big trouble for Mason, except Grossman's there to get his skates in front of it and keep that one out of the net. Good quick bounce. Looked like Mason was going to make it back in time, but Grossman made sure he didn't have to by blocking that shot.
19th time this year, Grossman has stepped in the way of an opposing shot. Flyers have been very good at that this year, piling up some big totals. Brad Boys, the veteran, sends that into the Philadelphia zone. Del Zotto is back for it. Quickly checked by Boys. 1:12 on the power play. Flyers get the puck free, couldn't clear though. And the Panthers finally working free to Kulikov. Across to Branson, a shot deflected by Ronaldo and then stopped by Mason. Ronaldo lost his stick though and trying to block that shot in the high slot. Jussi Jokinen gets it back to Kulikov. Down to Goodbranson again. Goodbranson with Ronaldo playing without a hockey stick. Gets it to Kulikov. They'll work it across ice. Jussi Jokinen, veteran forward, picked up during the offseason. Back to Kulikov. And now Goodbranson back across ice, tipped by Belmar. Del Zotto could not get to it in the corner, and the Panthers continue to control. 33 seconds on the power play. Fleischmann, side of the net, Jokinen out in front, tipped away, but it'll stay in the zone as Kulikov gets over. Plays it along for Jokinen, back across ice, Goodbranson with a shot! High and wide off the glass, but Kulikov keeps it in again. Across to Goodbranson, there's Ronaldo again. Trying to play without the stick, unable to really do much defensively as Goodbranson goes across ice to Jokinen. Jokinen to Kulikov for a shot, save Mason. The rebound cleared by Belmar.
A nice job by Belmar to get it out, an even better job by Steve Mason. A difficult shot. Flyers tired, especially with Ronaldo not having his stick, and the Panthers worked it around and got an A-quality opportunity.
And Simmonds escapes the penalty bench, so the Flyers kill off that power play. We remain scoreless. Just over 6 minutes in, first period. Sunrise, Florida. And the puck rolls out to Brian Campbell, the veteran defenseman. He gets to Kopecky. And now that shot blocked. Rocco Grimaldi with that shot, playing his first NHL game here tonight. Now the puck back out. They'll try to get it deeper, but it's tipped away by Giroux. A race for the puck, and Raffl's going to get to it. Michael Raffl holds, goes to the backhand, flips it. Luongo closes the door and covers up. 13-19 remaining in a scoreless first period.
Scoreless here as you take a look at Wayne Simmonds on the bench. A bit of a strange sequence there for the Flyers. Simmonds loses his stick right into the glass there. It goes where the Zamboni exits the rink. He has to drop it and continues to play without it. And then Zach Ronaldo blocking the shot of Goodbranson right here. A one-time blast broke his stick in half, and Mason had to come up with a big save.
Yeah, he sure did, Jones. He had a great one, too. Again, a little bit of traffic in front. Mason gets that pad leg out. Jeff Reese, the goalie coach, has done a lot of work with Steve Mason the last 10 days, and he feels very comfortable. He's improved his game, and that's what they're looking to see here tonight from Mason.
Playing the right team. He has outstanding numbers against this Florida Panthers club. Kopecky getting that puck to the Philadelphia line, then back after it. It's still in the slot, chopped out of the zone eventually by the Flyers. Willie Mitchell goes back to get it. Acquired as a free agent from the Los Angeles Kings, as he was part of the Cup winners last year. In fact, part of both of their Cup winning teams out in Los Angeles, and now he's the captain here in Florida. Veteran leader. Flyers move the puck in. It goes in on Luongo, and he decides to cover up.
Well, you can score with the Flyers family 4-pack during next week's home games. Get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 sodas for just $140. Select from November 4th versus Edmonton or November 6th versus Florida. Go to the PhiladelphiaFlyers.com. And lots of Flyer fans here having a good time in Florida.
hoping the Flyers can get their record back above 500. Flyers surviving that month of October, going 4-4-2. Playing 9 of 10 playoff teams from last year and all of the last 8 Stanley Cup winners. Dealing with the injuries they had. We've talked about this. 4-4-2 is not bad at all.
Very good, but you can't take your foot off the gas.
No.
And the Panthers are a team that expectations aren't necessarily that high for this season, but they're an improved hockey club that you better be ready to go. And so far, it's been a pretty evenly played first 17.
Yeah, in the last 5 games we mentioned they have not been beaten in regulation, so they're doing something right. Although a little short-handed here tonight. There's a great lead pass. Sean Thornton trying to catch up to that. Luke Schenn comes back and is able to seal him off. And the Flyers get to the puck, move it ahead, but not out of the zone, but then it's blocked out to center by Umberger. And so the Panthers go back deep in their own zone. Olsen moved it ahead. Out to the neutral zone it goes. Schultz controls there. Has a look at things as he moves up and deals on the right wing for LeCavalier, who shuttles it into the Florida zone. But Luongo quick play to Olsen. He's able to work around the forechecking of LeCavalier, but then Simmons knocks the puck down, racing over after Delzato. His shot off the stick high and wide. Back by Philadelphia. Umberger got it back to Nick Schultz for a shot snared by Luongo, and he'll squeeze it. Well, Monday, Michael Barkan is talking about tonight's Flyers-Panthers matchup and the Sixers home opener against the Heat. Plus, he'll be joined by Evan Mathis to talk about the Eagles as they take on the Texans tomorrow. Watch Philly Sports Talk presented by Comcast Business Monday night at 5 on Comcast Sportsnet. The draw is to the left of Luongo. Won by the Flyers. Backhanded by Brayden Schenn to the slot. Went off his stick, but is picked up and taken out to center ice by Jimmy Hayes. Now they center it. Delzato tipped it away. And jumping on the puck was Nick Schultz. His pass tipped. It's still bouncing around. And finally Schultz finds it and just hammers it in to the Florida zone. First to it, Brayden Schenn centers for Reed. Luongo got a piece of it to keep it out of the net. Now they battle for Reed in there. Couturier, but it's controlled by Hayes. And he'll move it ahead. Bjugstad on the right wing. Go up, Shaw right back to Bjugstad, and now Hayes, the shot! Save Mason as he takes that one right at the crest of his jersey. He'll get the face-off.
Couple of nice saves at both ends of the ice. Roberto Luongo comes up with a save on Matt Reed, who got near the blue paint. I'm not sure if it deflected off a Panther defender or not, but a nice pass from Brayden Schenn, and Luongo kicked that leg out and kept it out of the net.
So they drop the puck to the right of Mason, and the Panthers keep it in. Here's Jussi Jokinen dropping it off for Brad Boyes. Boyes back out in front, comes through to Kulikov. And he's looking to make a pass as well, and ends up sliding it into the middle, and the Flyers come up with that. And then over skate as Streit did not get that puck out of the zone. Here's Boyes on the wall. Jokinen behind the cage, then moves to the quarter with it, out to the point. Willie Mitchell, a shot, score! Change direction on the way in. May have been Fleischmann. And the Panthers get the first one here tonight. 1-0 Florida, 10:53 to go here in the first.
Flyers sloppy in their own zone. They had an opportunity to break out. It would have been a 3-on-2 advantage. The puck is turned over, and the Florida Panthers go to work with traffic in front. Goes through the feet of Grossman and gets past Mason with a couple of bodies providing the screen.
You know, I think this might have been Mitchell's. It looked like there was definitely bodies in front, but I'm not sure it went off anybody in front of the net, Jonesy. You know what, though? You made a point. Flyers not getting the puck out with any kind of authority, and those pucks stay in. It's tough. You keep coming back, swinging in your own zone. That's where the trouble starts.
That may have gone off of Grossman in front.
Perhaps, JJ, but I don't think it hit another Florida player.
Yeah, you could tell by their reactions in front. Both of the players up front were almost startled that it went in. Yeah. So it's going to be Mitchell's goal in all likelihood, and that would be his first as a Florida Panther. As the Flyers, again, mishandle the puck at their own line. They get it back, Luke Schenn, but he's checked. And it's taken away, a centering feed all the way across to Kulikov. And now Mitchell, a wrist shot, goes wide. Bounces around behind the net. They try to center, blocked off by Brandon Manning, but kept in by the Panthers and Mitchell. Cross ice, Kulikov shot wide, back out the other way. Mitchell keeps it in. He got that puck to Grimaldi, across row, back in front. Trocheck, Spalling was Mason to knock it away. And the Flyers have it, and can they leave the zone? Yes, they get it ahead to Vandevelde, and he'll fire it into the Florida end. And Flyers will try to play down here a little bit as Simmons gets in a little anger on the forecheck. RJ Umberger worked on by Mitchell. He's been out there a while now, carrying over from the shift in which he scored on, and the Panthers able to relieve pressure, clear the zone so Mitchell can get to the bench on the change. Schultz bounces off of Simmons, and then Umberger is taken out. And Derek McKenzie, the hits leader for the Panthers. Got a piece of him. Simmons moves on. Rink wide pass cut off by McKenzie. And he'll slide it out to the neutral zone. Delzato quickly to it. Nice moves off the wall with it, but he's all by himself, so he'll just play it deep into the Florida zone, and the Flyers will change. Olsen to Gabranson, and he'll move it ahead to Jimmy Hayes. One of several former Chicago Blackhawks on this team. Dale Talon, the general manager of the Panthers, of course, was with the Blackhawks organization, and he's taking several of those players over here to try to help rebuild this club. In the corner, here's Upshaw, angle shot. Stopped at the side of the net by Mason. The net comes up a little bit from the backside, and now play is stopped. 8:46 remaining in the first. Panthers lead here in the first. The best hockey video game is in stores now. EA Sports NHL 15. You can lace up the skates and play in the NHL like Brandon Manning, which brings us to our EA NHL 15 player profile.
Good to see Brandon Manning here in the NHL after spending the last 3 years with the Phantoms, and he's done a good job. I talked to Ron Hextall about it before the game. He says, you know what, he's really grown. He's not taking the penalties he took in the past, and he's playing much, much better defensive hockey, and he's got himself a nice opportunity here in Philadelphia.
Did a nice job there helping Steve Mason as Brad Boyes tried to wrap that opportunity in, and you play well in your own zone, you have a very good opportunity of staying up.
Flyers moving the puck into the Florida zone here. Voracek could not do much with that. It is kept in at the point by Strite. He rams it off the wall, but right there, Willie Mitchell. He'll play it out to center ice. Seems as though Willie Mitchell's out on the ice a lot here in this first period. Flyers get the puck in. Here's Voracek. 4 consecutive multiple-point games. First Flyers since Simone Gagne. Back in 07 to do that. Now the play ends up stopped at the blue line.
Well, the Flyers all-for-one deal includes a ticket to the game plus an all-you-can-eat pregame menu with beverages starting at $88. Next Tuesday, November the 4th, will also include an appearance by Flyers GM Ron Hextall and President Paul Holmgren. Get tickets at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com and come out and catch some Flyer action.
Campbell moves the puck ahead. Roback could not get the puck deep into the Philadelphia zone. It's Luke Schenn ahead, and then deep into the Florida zone by Belmar. Van de Velde after it. 76 and 78 on the same line. And along with Zach Rinaldo. Rinaldo cuts the puck off, sends it back deeper into the Florida zone. Campbell is there. They get it ahead to Vincent Trocheck, the Pittsburgh native, called up due to all the injuries to the forwards for the Panthers. He spent some time with the Panthers last year late in the year and impressed a lot of people. Offside the call there at the Florida line. Talking about Jake Voracek and all the points he's been piling up of late. Well, it's helped him climb to the very top of the NHL, and he's tied with 2 guys who are used to being up at the top. Tyler Seguin and Sidney Crosby. 15 points for all 3 of those individuals.
Voracek's done an outstanding job, and when you're in the mix with a guy like Crosby and an up-and-coming star in Tyler Seguin, you're doing some really positive things for your hockey club, and you'll continue to try to find a way to get it done here against the Panthers.
Claude Giroux and Jake Voracek, the leading scoring tandem in the NHL. Seguin and Spezza, Jason Spezza down in Dallas, right there with him, but at the top all by themselves by 1 point. The Flyers captain and his line mate. Here's Nick Bjugstad turning with the puck for the Panthers, swings wide to the right wing, takes the shot, save made by Mason. Delzato to it. Bjugstad staying with him. Jimmy Hayes after it as well. But the Flyers get control. And Nick Schultz will send an aerial down into the Florida zone. Was hit with a high stick by the Flyers, but played by Florida, so no whistle. And Gabranson, who was the 3rd overall pick of the draft. A lot of very high draft picks on this team because, of course, the Panthers have struggled in recent years. They're hoping that those players will blossom right down here. And if they all do blossom, you're going to have a heck of a hockey team eventually. Maybe some growing pains, but eventually should be a good team down here in South Florida.
Adding a veteran like Willie Mitchell helps solidify the back end, and he's helped Kulikov a lot as well. Another young defenseman that's got a ton of potential. It had a bit of an off season last year.
Grossman protects the puck and gets it to Streit, who moves it ahead. Couturier handing off to Reed. Reed will just chip it in and chase. Mitchell and Reed, along with Kulikov, arriving together at the puck. Joining in the scramble is Brayden Schenn as he knocks Mitchell down. Now 5 players surrounding the puck, but nobody can get possession of it. Mitchell now has Schenn in a bear hug. Hockey in tight quarters right here. Who will come away with the puck? And they're being told to move it, and they finally do, and it's the Panthers who emerge with it. Kept in by the Flyers, but then Mitchell there to sweep it out of the zone. 5:38 remaining in this first period. Panthers have doubled the Flyers in shots, 10-5, and they have the only goal. Luke Schenn missing Voracek with that pass, but no icing called, so Campbell goes back for it. Up the wall for Boys. Bad Boys made the Panthers last year with a training camp tryout, ended up leading them in goals. Earned himself a contract this year. Fleischmann to the puck. Fleischmann looking for Boys. It's tipped away. Goes back out, now back along the wall for Fleischmann, across ice. Voracek getting his stick on that, now trying to muscle his way out to center ice, and he does. He gets the puck ahead to Giroux. Giroux for Raffl! Luongo makes the save. Great work by the Flyers top line. Raffl got the shot, but Luongo had an answer.
Flyers looking to get things evened up, and they'll be looking at that guy, number 12, Michael Raffl, who has been red hot. You can see the 4 goals over the last 3 games. He's already had 3 shots on goal in the first period here. He's done a real good job of getting to the net and showing some nice patience. Got real good hands. A little puck luck there against the Dallas Stars. Another opportunity where he breaks through with his speed, and in this one he uses his speed again after a nice play by Voracek protecting the puck. Giroux finding Michael Raffl, and he's ahead of the defender there. Luongo just manages to squeeze that one tight enough before it got past him.
Michael Raffl has 4 of his 6 goals in the third period. There have been several games where he's been denied early in a game, or at least in the first period or first 2 periods, and maybe frustrated, but he continues to put pucks toward the net and ends up with the goals later on in the game. Flyers battling down low in the Florida zone right here. Umberger, Dylan Olsen, but the puck to Upshaw, and across ice he goes with it. Stat fans on his pass, but the puck bounces back to him, and then the whistle for the offside as Upshaw went in ahead of the play. 4:28 to go in the period. Chance for us to tell you our Jeep trivia question of tonight's game. Which Flyers coach was an original Florida Panther? Gord Murphy, Craig Berube, or goaltender coach Jeff Reese? We'll give you the answer later on in the broadcast.
Jeff Reese spent some time in the state of Florida. I know that.
He did. Craig Berube's probably spent some time in Florida as well.
Yes, he's pretty much played for everybody in the league. So.
I'll tell him you said that as the puck is set ahead. Trocheck back around behind to Brian Campbell. Now Campbell moving that puck ahead to Colby Roback, a defenseman playing up for the Panthers due to all their injuries. Now move it back to the point. Campbell, a shot, and that one in front may have gone off of a Flyer in front. Maybe Mason got it. Stayed out, but now bounces free. There's Roback looking for it. Swept that by Grossman, and it does roll on out to the neutral zone.
Panthers pretty good on the forecheck, and the Flyers have to make sure that they're not coughing pucks up in the defensive zone. Florida already scored 1 goal after a turnover. They look for another one there.
Now here's McKenzie, a knuckleball that bounces wide. Belmar back to get the puck. Moves it into center. Anneveldi pushed it further, but the Panthers have it again, and here they come. Kulikov to McKenzie. McKenzie holds, fires, save Mason, rebound right out in front. Flyers are on it. Giroux, the long outlet. He's got Raffl moving up in the left wing. Raffl, stutter step move, but the referee got in the way of the puck. That'll stop any move. And now Voracek takes a shot, and that one goes wide. Bounces all the way out to Luke Schenn. Schenn will turn 25 years old tomorrow. The defenseman trying to come back now as Kopetsky has the puck, and Kopetsky winds it deep into Philadelphia ice. Mason, quick little pass, and now they'll bounce it across behind Voracek. He reaches back for it, then on the backhand, moved it to Giroux, but Giroux could not get the puck past Willie Mitchell, who's out there again. Does he ever go to the bench?
It's amazing. Well conditioned, eh? Not used to playing this much with LA either. They had so much depth on the back end.
Boys sifting his way through the defense until he got to Delzato. Knocks it away. Numbers for the Flyers. Couturier moving up. Lost the puck at the Florida line. Oh, the Flyers were well positioned there on the rush, but Couturier could not get the puck to the other side of the ice. Now Olsen, another former Blackhawk, sends it high off the glass deep in the Philadelphia zone. Del Zotto and Bjugstad go to the board. Del Zotto taken down. He took a swat at Bjugstad, and something's been called here. The trip, perhaps the original infraction, and so a power play coming up.
You know, one of the things, guys, you talk to a lot of the guys who have played in Florida. Bill Lindsay, who does Florida television, Gordon Murphy. One of the things they say here, you need to have a really good coach who gets your team focused, and also good veteran group, so that water sports and perhaps nightlife and golf don't become the precedent of a young team. And it's happened, and it can happen. And those are important areas to grow. And that's where Willie Mitchell, as you guys talked about, comes in handy. Won 2 cups in a warm climate place in LA, and a real good veteran addition to this team over the summer.
Now you saw Willie Mitchell brought in along with several other veterans, but the youthful core, they're the guys that they're building the future around here, and they have several players under 23. Flyers to the power play. That puck bouncing up in the air right in the crease area, but kept out by the Panthers. Now Willie Mitchell to the puck, backhands, hit a teammate, but getting there is McKenzie, and he'll backhand in. 1:38 on the power play as Bjugstad is off for tripping. There's your McDonald's power play payoff contestant. Mark Streit dancing all the way in. Pass on the left wing. The shot. Save Luongo as he denies Lecavalier. And he'll take the whistle.
Nice entry there for Mark Streit, and Vinny Lecavalier on that strong side gathers that puck in and fires it from a difficult angle. Luongo there to make that save. No rebound opportunity, but the Flyers' #1 unit moving the puck around nicely here.
Still have 1:26 remaining on the power play. 1:42 to go here in the first period. Panthers have allowed 11 goals to enemy power plays, only 5 at even strength this year. Gives you an idea that you really want to do your damage against this team in this situation of the power play. Streit starting up. Dishes on the left wing, then they throw it down low, but it's Panthers all over that. Chance to clear for Olsen. Kept in by Voracek, who found Streit. Now the pass across. Lecavalier fakes the shot, turns within a backhand and blocked it. Sat there for a moment, bounces free. Voracek, the shot, it went wide. Now Giroux to it. They get set up. Giroux holds for Lecavalier, and it was tipped, and then Lecavalier couldn't get anything on it, and the Panthers clear.
Scotty Upshaw reading that play. A couple of nice plays by Jake Voracek. First to keep the puck in the zone, and the second one a tricky little shot that just missed the blocker side of Luongo.
Schenn stripped of the puck in the neutral zone, and the Panthers will clear it back. It was Braden Schenn as Del Zotto back to get to it. Now races up to center ice. Michael Del Zotto cutting to the middle. Del Zotto winds, fakes the shot, carries wide, and all the way back across. It's tipped. Hustling over to keep it in the zone is Reed. Reed for Couturier. 16 seconds on the power play. Reed, the shot! Save Luongo. He had a man right on him in Braden Schenn, but able to make that save and not allow a rebound.
Couple of shots on goal for Matt Reed this period. A quick one-timer there. Del Zotto did such a terrific job in bringing the puck up the ice, and they enabled the Flyers to get that scoring chance. A nice pass from Couturier to Reed.
Yeah, nice play here by Couturier. Again, finding that open man, that little play that Giroux would use with Hartnell. Nice play by Reed, right in the seam there. Good shot, good save by Luongo.
Have enough time to try to make a play on the power play if they could win the draw, but they could not. Panthers move it ahead. Here's Fleischmann. And the veteran, coming off a subpar year, just dishes the puck into the Philadelphia zone. And it's back to full strength hockey right now. Out of the box jumps Bjugstad. Couturier charging up with the puck. Couturier holding on, waiting, centering, and that one blocked off in front as Schenn took a chop at it. Now Schenn tried to center, but nobody really there for Philadelphia. Final 3 seconds of the period. Panthers will move the puck to center. And there's the horn. Braden Schenn was tangled up behind the play with Aaron Ekblad, but nothing serious there. First period comes to an end. Flyers trailing the Panthers 1-0. Mason beaten by Willie Mitchell for the only goal of this first period. Tonight's Flyers-Panthers first period was brought to you by Kia. To learn more, visit kia.com. And by Papa John's. The day after the Flyers win and score 3 or more goals, get 50% off your online order using promo code FLYERS at papajohns.com. The Chevrolet Intermission Report. John Bork, Bill Clement will analyze the first period here from the BB&T Center. 1-0 Florida through 20 minutes. One period in the books. Panthers with a 1-0 lead. We look at the statistics brought to you by Rothman Institute at Jefferson.
Flyers a couple of power play opportunities in that first period, unable to beat Roberto Luongo. The shots on goal 12-9 for the Panthers. They had a lot of offensive zone time. Flyers guilty of a couple of turnovers in that first period, and one of them led to the Panthers' only goal.
And that goal scored by Willie Mitchell. Changed the second assist in that goal to Brad Boyes. It's only the third first period goal of the season for this Panthers club. GMC NHL update. 12 games on the docket tonight. One of them taking place in Pittsburgh. Sabres and Penguins. Red hot trio. Crosby, Kunitz, Hornqvist at it again. And the payoff here for Chris Kunitz. He gets the goal. Both Crosby and Hornqvist with assists on that one. And so they're now the top duo in terms of points. Also a matchup between Toronto and Chicago. This one in Toronto. The Van Riemsdyk brothers going head-to-head for the first time in the NHL. That goal from Nazem Kadri is 4th of the year, giving the Leafs the lead, although Brad Richards has come back to score for Chicago, so it is 1-1 in that one. Busy night as it usually is on Saturday.
Busy period for Willie Mitchell. Seemed like he didn't come off the ice there for the Florida Panthers. Did a real nice job wearing the C in his first year with the hockey club, but so much of it to do with his experience. He and Roberto Luongo very familiar with each other from the Vancouver Canucks and their experiences there. And he's solidified the back end for Florida, and very good-looking team defensively.
7:48 was his ice time. Seemed more like 10:48.
It did, yeah.
But he was obviously a big part of that period as he scored the only goal. But underway now in period number 2. As the Flyers try to battle from behind. They have allowed the game's first goal in all but 2 of their games this year, so they've been in this situation many times and have recovered. Here's Giroux moving up. Giroux just fluttering that one deep. Voracek and Raffl go after it behind the net. Raffl getting that back out to the point. Del Zotto. Now Kulikov stripped by Voracek. Voracek getting the puck to Giroux in front. Raffl, and he got his stick on it, but it sort of sat there, and Luongo able to cover up. Here are the top scoring duos going into play tonight. Giroux and Voracek were number 1, but Crosby and Hornqvist, as we mentioned, both got assists on that goal by Kunitz, so they are now number 1. But to be on that panel means you are producing.
No doubt, man. Voracek and Giroux teamed up to set up Michael Raffl a couple times in that first period, and Roberto Luongo had the answer.
Panthers control. Hayes up the right wing. Rolls the puck deep into the Philadelphia zone. Now Brayden Schenn as the Flyers try to move back. Rink-wide feed for Streit. They'll just backhand deeper into the Florida zone. Luongo will send it around the glass. Streit is right there to jam it along the wall, but Campbell comes up with it. Now 35 years of age, the veteran defenseman moving that one to center. Grossman right back out. And the Flyers have control as Streit will give to Brayden Schenn. Schenn disrupted by Derek McKenzie. Taken down. Flyers still after the puck though. Couturier into the quarter for Brayden Schenn. 3-game point streak in progress for Schenn. And good work by the Flyers to get that puck, trying to get it to Reed, but he was checked, and it's played by the veteran Sean Thornton in the air out to center, and lands perfectly for the Panthers to play it. Kopecky couldn't do much with it though, as Luke Schenn takes it away and finds Reed. Well done by Luke Schenn, and the Flyers move up. Couturier softly playing it in. Branson back to get to it for the Florida Panthers. We approach the 2-minute mark of this second period. Brandon Manning and the puck back in. Now here's R.J. Umberger centering for Simmons. The shot blocked by Branson and then found by McKenzie, and he'll lug to center ice and skate it up. We'll just send it in as it's time for a change for Florida. Shot blocked there by Branson. Simmons was point blank. Move that puck ahead. Javier just a backhanded chop at it. And it's sent right back in, and Del Zotto will gain control and go across ice with it. Simmons ahead and cross to Cavalier, who dips back with it. Gives to Del Zotto. Del Zotto changing direction. Some nifty maneuvers. Going to move the puck to Schultz. Del Zotto has been very creative in moving that puck in this game, but unfortunately Flyers lose it at the Panthers line. Here's Fleischmann centering. Chipped by Del Zotto. Bounces in the air. Sent back around the other way by Van de Velde. Simmons is checked though. Flyers have to go back and get it, and Simmons will get to Del Zotto. Now off the stick. Van de Velde at the forward line and taken right back out by the Panthers. Flyers have turned it over at the opposing blue line a lot. And that can lead to difficulty. Trocheck. Grimaldi, the two guys called up by the Panthers today. Rookie of the quarter, Grimaldi. He's not a big guy, as you can see. Worked on by Belmar. Trocheck helps him out. And then sends it off the stick of Mason right out into the slot. Ronaldo could not come up with it. Campbell does. Sweeps it to the corner. Vincent Trocheck after it there. They get it back out to the point. Campbell. And he'll drop it off for the shot. It's stopped by Mason, but the rebound loose. Rovac can chop at it. And then it's knocked away in front as Trocheck was knocked down. There's still fragments of that stick getting in the way as Van de Velde will get to Belmar. And now across ice. Ronaldo has it go off his skate, and then with his stick able to backhand into the Florida zone. Flyers trying to change here. Panthers trying to take advantage. Hayes speeding through center. Hayes and just got a weak shot off as Manning showed good speed to get back and cut him off. And Raffl will move the puck through center. Off Giroux to Manning. Manning has his shot bounce off the skate of Ekblad and wide. Back up the wall. Here's Manning again. Gives to Giroux. Giroux cross ice pass meant for Raffl, tipped away. And finally out to center it goes. Approach 5 minutes into this second period. Not many whistles. And look out here, Bjugstad. Across ice could not be handled by Upshaw. They get it back out to the point. There's Mitchell, winds and blast. And that one blocked aside, and the Flyers now 2-on-2 the other way. Raffl and Giroux waiting for Voracek to join, but by the time he does, the Panthers get back, and McKenzie fields the puck for Kopetsky, who nudges it out to center ice.
Panthers really alert on their line changes. A couple of guys jumping out there in a hurry were able to get back and force the Flyers to turn that puck over at the offensive blue line.
Now here is Sean Thornton. Uttering one toward Mason. He'll just guide it to the corner. Kopetsky and Schultz after it. Bouncing puck gathered by the Panthers. They get it back to the point. And that shot blocked as Mitchell could not get it past Reed. Second try, just throws it in the wall. And now Reed has it again. Pass to Couturier. Left wing dish, Schenn. Braden Schenn cutting to the middle, but offside is called as he slowed down ever so slightly just as he got to the line.
Our Geico quote of the hockey game tonight belongs to Flyers head coach Craig Berube. I think what he means here with this quote, fellas, is in a lot of ways you want to use both your goalies. Like, you want to use all your players. I think ultimately as you approach later in the season and the playoffs, I think you'd like somebody to grab hold of the situation and become that number one goalie. But right now, you're going to ride the hot hand, and that hot hand last couple of weeks was Ray Emery, and trying to get Mason back in the fold with a win here tonight in Florida. But you'll use all the personnel you can, and I think that's a good thing to have, is a healthy competition, especially amongst goalies.
Panthers will send the puck in here as Mason, hard off glass, but it's knocked down. And here's Boys for Fleischmann, checked by Simmons, could not get a shot off, and the Flyers move back with it. Umberger, the right wing dish. Le Cavalier backhanding that one in on Luongo, just sweeps it aside. Played up to the line, now Jokinen reaching for it, but swarmed upon by the Flyers. The Flyers have it back. Luke Schenn, the pass that goes off a stick. I really think when you get back to that goaltending situation that all coaches will tell you too much is made of the label number one goalie during the course of the regular season.
There's no doubt. And when somebody like Ray Emery jumps into the net and plays as well as he does, the gap closes between your number one and the so-called backup goaltender. And if you're Emery, that's all you can do. You want to get out there and make sure you take full advantage of every opportunity you get in that net.
Getting to this puck first is Couturier, and then Olsen gets to him. Good support from Braden Schenn. Bjugstad, able to one-hand the puck to the neutral zone. Nick Schultz checks him there. Flyers have it back. Del Zotto moving it to the middle. Bjugstad able to find the puck, and 22-year-old moves it in. Here's Hayes, a shot, save Mason. A rebound, poked away, but Bjugstad after it again. Big rangy center iceman. Twists it down low. Delzato up the wall. Kept in Campbell to Bjugstad, and now was it across ice? Ekblad reaching for it. Kept it in the zone, but then Couturier able to knock down his pass or shot attempt and clear it out to the neutral zone with the help of Schenn. Right back in, penalty as Kopecky was taken down. Here's McKenzie turning and firing up the outside, actually off of Mason at the side of the net, and then the Flyers get control, and there's your whistle. Power play for the Panthers coming up. They lead 1-0.
Flyers down by 1. Brayden Schenn in the penalty box. He gets called for hooking. Flyers don't get the puck over the red line and in deep, and Brayden Schenn forced to get the stick there on Kopecky, and Schenn will head to the box. You can enjoy the biggest rivalries of the season with the Flyers 3-game plan. Choose from the Rangers, Bruins, or Penguins, plus 2 other games starting at $200. Snap this package up by calling 215-218-PUCK.
So the Flyers shorthanded for the second time here tonight. They have been overall this year through their first 10+ games very good in the discipline department. 3rd fewest amount of penalty minutes per game in the NHL, but took a season high 7 against Tampa the other night. Craig Berube was not very happy with that. And here's Fleischmann trying to knife his way into the slot. The puck winds up underneath. Flyer defenseman in front, Luke Schenn. So a whistle stopping play.
Good patient play by Luke Schenn there defensively, taking that pass away. Gets down there, body in good position, the stick there as well. No passing lane across because of the play by Schenn.
Flyers able to clear the zone. Aaron Ekblad goes back to get it. 18 years of age. This is his 9th game, so it's technically decision time for the Panthers, but they've already made their decision. He will be staying. He has been one of their top defensemen. As an 18-year-old, he has just been solid as a rock in his first now 8+ games at the NHL level. Here's Reed moving up. Reed, the shot, and that one rides high off the glass. Set ahead to Boyes. Brad Boyes up the left wing, then trying to cut to the middle, but the Flyers were up to that. It's gotten back by Jussi Jokinen. Parlayed a good year in Pittsburgh last season to a healthy contract here in Florida. Fleischmann trying to get that back to Ekblad, never made it. Flyers clear it all the way down. As this power play for Florida reaches its midpoint. Brian Campbell looking to rush the puck, gets to Ekblad, winds it deep. Scramble for the puck along the boards. Hayes is in there. Let's get the puck up, but not out. There's Ekblad. Moving to the middle of the ice and then dealing it off in left wing. That shot by Gudbranson went wide through traffic. Ekblad over to keep it in. Tries to maneuver around Van de Velde. Got the puck off. Now they move it to Bjugstad for a shot. And in the way of Mason was Hayes. It may have hit off of Hayes. It never did get through as this didn't get through Mason as the puck was back through center, and turning with it and holding on and waiting as long as he can is Bellemare.
Good patient play by Bellemare there, allowing the Flyers to make wholesale changes while shorthanded and getting a fresh unit on the ice.
Kopecky bounces one deep into Philadelphia ice. Final 7 seconds of the Florida power play. Big hit on Kopecky in the corner. He goes down. The Flyers get the puck and send it all the way in on Luongo as the power play comes to an end. So the Flyers kill that one off. It remains a 1-0 game. Luongo jumps on the puck in the blue paint. There's Michael Raffl nearby.
Well, the Florida Panthers had the #1 pick last summer, guys, and they made no mistake in selecting Aaron Ekblad with the #1 overall pick. Future defenseman, a guy that you can build an entire core around. He'll be a great player for a long time, and they're hoping he comes with everything that is incorporated with that #1 pick. Star status and a real solid guy who can play 25 minutes a night.
Well, he's good at both ends of the ice.
Yep.
And when you can say about a defenseman that you're comfortable playing him if you're down a goal or up a goal, you know he's got a chance to be a stud defenseman, and that is the case with Aaron Ekblad. Appears as though he will stay at the NHL level at the tender age of 18.
Yeah, and he should too. He's that good. He's been that good and that impressive even in this game.
Yeah, you've seen some puck movement in traffic that he's made. Really takes a lot of confidence. He's been able to do that. Flyers with the puck here. Right wing dish to Voracek. Holds on, slides it through to Streit. Streit turning with it. Takes a look all the way across Giroux. The shot! And the save made. Luongo takes it chest high. Still 1-0 Florida.
Get Luke Schenn there, the Flyers defenseman. Time for our Timberland hard hits over the last couple of games, and Luke Schenn's involved in a lot of them. Throwing one there against Tampa Bay, another one against Jared Stoll of the LA Kings. Michael Raffel against Alec Martinez gets physical, so does Wayne Simmons, and drive in the front of the net. RJ Umberger gets rocked by McKenzie on that occasion, and Simmons tonight goes right back after Willie Mitchell. Luke Schenn joins the party one more time. Flyers starting to pick it up in the hitting department. They're going to have to get back on board here and get this game tied up.
Luke Schenn came into this game with 6 more hits than any other Flyer this year, so he has been physical, as is usually the case with Luke. He's been at or near the top among all NHL defensemen in hits each of the last 4 seasons. Icing the call here against Florida. There's Luke, his dad here. The dad's continuing along on the trip here to South Florida. And it's a good time had by all. Players like having their dads around. Nice locale. I understand the weather wasn't so good back in Philadelphia here, so weather down here was very nice.
Yeah, just about perfect.
But we're heading back into the bad weather, my friend.
Yes, we are. We're going to tough it out.
So are the dads as they're on the plane back, and then they'll head back home, wherever home is for them. Past the midpoint of regulation time in this game. Sort of a typical Panthers game thus far. They have played low-scoring games. Big hit there by Gudbranson on Umberger. Umberger, though, stays after it. Centered it out in front. Airborne pass, though, that hit Simmons in the shoulder and now bounces out to Fleischmann. Fleischmann will sweep that into the Philadelphia zone. Mason up the glass and past Olsen all the way down. But they'll rule this icing against Philadelphia. Later tonight on Comcast Sportsnet, Flyers captain Claude Giroux meets a group of kids plus Shane Gostis. Shares the emotions he felt during his NHL debut last week. Also sit down with Mark Streit, part of the leadership group this season. The Orange Line presented by Bradford Whitewater Heaters, 12:30. Later tonight on Comcast Sportsnet. Shane Gostis bear sent back down to the Lehigh Valley Phantoms yesterday. Did get to practice here at the BB&T Center yesterday. Shot wide on purpose. This is a rink that he basically learned about the NHL at. He grew up about 5 minutes from here, Pembroke Pines, Florida. A little gathering here. He used to come to games with his grandfather often, and took a look at the seats where they used to sit yesterday when he was practicing. And someday he'll play in this arena for sure. But he took the news of being sent back to the American Hockey League as he should. He said, I'll have my time. I've got to learn.
Yep, and Ron Hextall was clear with them. The message from the start was that you're up here, go out and do your thing, but it's not going to be a long stay. And it wasn't. Craig Berube liked what he saw. There's still some work to do. And Shane Gostisbehere is going to play in this league for many years, but he's going to develop down in the American Hockey League for a little bit longer.
For now, Brandon Manning is occupying a defense spot. Poliakovo possibly could take that spot over as early as Tuesday. And we got pretty good news on Braden Coburn, saying he's ahead of schedule. His lower body injury, and he'll be back sooner rather than later. So perhaps Flyers getting a little healthier in the blue line. NHL scores appearing at the top of your screen on a busy night throughout the NHL. There's a pass ahead. Bjugstad gains the Philadelphia line, dishes to Upshaw, across for Hayes. It was behind him, and Brayden Schenn will spring Couturier. Couturier winds it into the Florida zone. Upshaw runs at him. Campbell got the puck, and Brayden Schenn got a piece of him. Now Ekblad ahead. Luke Schenn tried to contain Hayes, but Hayes bull rushes through him. Hayes will flip it deeper for Ekblad, who joins the offensive play, but he's sealed off by Nick Grossman, and the Flyers have the puck. Luke Schenn from the red line, and that one's deflected, goes up over the glass, sent out of play.
Not a lot of offensive opportunities for the Flyers here in the second period, just past the midway point, and part of that has to do with getting pucks in deep and getting in on the forecheck. The Florida Panthers have been very strong at all three lines, both blue lines and the red line, not allowing the Flyers to get those pucks in places where they can get in and start getting physical and try to generate some chances.
Flyers jam the puck deep here as Mandevelde got the puck deep into the Florida zone. Elmar scrambling for it. There's two Panthers on him, so Ronaldo comes over to help out. Ronaldo dumps, and a penalty. And I think we're going to get 2 penalties here, at least according to what it looks like here. The referee gesturing twice. Let's see what Francis Charron has come up with.
36, Philadelphia, 2 minutes for embellishing.
Just 2 minutes for embellishing on Ronaldo. Wow.
That call's usually coming when you see about 9 guys with a shocked look on their face wondering what the penalty's going to be. And this time it's on Zach Ronaldo, and Greg Berube sends out his penalty killers here with a big kill coming at this juncture of the game. Florida up by 1, trying to extend it. We'll check and see if this was the embellishment here in the corner as he takes a cross check and maybe a little bit on the end there. And the league's trying to move away from that, but that was pretty darn close.
Yeah, I'm all for trying to cut down on the dives, but if they're going to call that, you're going to have a lot of them in this game, because you see players do that all the time. And again, I think it has to do with being Zach Ronaldo. They are always watching Zach.
Yeah, and it's just a little extra on the end of that where you're trying to do your job and draw that penalty, but they're really trying to enforce that and get that type of play out of the game, which is...
I'm all for that.
It's a tough thing to do.
Too much embellishing, and it's so hard for a referee to be able to judge at real speed. But Francis Charron, the referee there, seemed pretty sure of himself, makes the call. Flyers down a man for a 3rd time. So far, they've been able to keep the Panthers away from looking too dangerous. 1:15 remaining on the Ronaldo penalty. 7:15 in the second period as Ekblad starts up. Pass to Bjugstad. They say it's onside as the puck bounces to the circle. Flyers have it. And it's picked off by Umberger. Grossman, if he could have gotten that, had Raffl up the middle, but Flyers could not get the puck to him. And now here's Kulikov turning with the puck. Kulikov, 24 years of age, well over 300 games played already at the NHL level. He started as a very young player. Raffl will twist that back into the Florida zone.
Looks a lot better tonight than he did at any point against the Flyers last year, and I think Willie Mitchell deserves a lot of credit for that. The veteran defender has calmed his game down, and Kulikov can make those aggressive offensive decisions knowing he's got a good defensive defenseman to back him up.
There he is, Russian-born defenseman who was the 14th overall pick back in '09. You go right up and down this lineup, and you've got players who selected in the top 15 to 20 picks, and many even closer to the top.
Yeah, Eric Branson won too, JJ. I mean, the 3rd pick overall. This guy is a right shot, big, tall guy, about 6'4", 6'5". They got a long list of good young talent back on the back end that are going to be here for a long time, and that's where I think, you know, if you're a manager now, you want to build from your blue line on up.
The Flyers
they're doing here.
Doing that as well, as the Flyers have several prospects. Shane Gostisbehere among them that aren't at the NHL level yet, but stay tuned. There will be soon enough. But development is very important. As Nick Schultz will backhand this one. It's knocked down by Gudbranson. He'll get to Olsen. And the Panthers now with just 10 seconds remaining on this power play. And across the Philadelphia line, Kopetsky, former Red Wing, and yes, Blackhawk. He could not do much there. Couturier pushing that one out to the neutral zone, out of the box. Jumps Ronaldo. Flyers back to full strength as we've ticked below 6 minutes to play here in the second period. Olsen, long pass cut off by the Flyers. And now moved ahead, but having to turn back with it is Claude Giroux. Giroux will send the puck in. Van de Velde getting a shift here with Voracek and Giroux. Here's Voracek behind the net. Olsen got to him. Voracek tracks it down and finds Giroux high slot, but he couldn't get much on that shot. And then Gudbranson got one high out to center ice, threatening the scoreboard out there.
Good high clear, and bailed out his club getting that puck deep, and there comes the Panthers in on the forecheck.
Manning able to avoid most of that hit attempt, but now Fleischmann to the puck, and from the red line he banks it in. Just 11 shots on goal for the Flyers here. We only have 5 minutes and change remaining in the second period. There's a 3-on-2. Voracek with the puck. Voracek waits for Van de Velde, and it was just too far out in front of him. Van de Velde gets to it off the wall. Backhands it across for Luke Schenn. The shot! Save Luongo. He saw it all the way. And the Panthers get to it. Kulikov will roll it around to the other side of the ice. Willie Mitchell hit a man in the back with it. Giroux had it knocked away. The Panthers move up with it. Jussi Jokinen. That one batted away by Mason and goes into the safety netting. 4:40 remaining in the second period.
Welcome back to Florida. Our Independence Blue Cross fearless play of this hockey game tonight belongs to number 8 for the Flyers, Nicholas Grossman. Right there, Erica Branson comes in on the rebound behind the net, hits Grossman again, who blocks a ton of shots. That is our Independence Blue Cross Fearless play of the game.
Florida's only goal in this game actually went in off Nick Grossman. He was trying to block the shot from the point by Willie Mitchell, but he's a block first defender and a hit first defender as well, and Craig Berube appreciative of his efforts.
Flyers gain control off the defensive zone draw, and there is Grossman from the red line, sending it in. Umberger getting his skate on it. And he's bumped by Hayes, but still has the puck to Cavalier, but his backhander is blocked. Vinny back after the puck, tried to chip it to the point, but it got passed right out to the neutral zone. Right then, might have been hooked there, no call. Here's Upshaw with a shot, fought off by Mason. Bjugstad leaned on and then knocked to the ice by Grossman. And Umberger will go across ice to Simmons. And Wayne Simmons will chip, but he chipped it. Yeah, he got it deep into the zone. And the Flyers will get their line change. Simmons stays on the ice and buries Dmitry Kulikov. Now Delzato in across the line. Nice feed. Ronaldo makes the move with the puck and then tried to center. It's blocked. Back out it goes to Delzato, and it hopped over his stick to center ice. And that one got away from him, but he's made some real nice plays in this game with that puck, finding open men.
Yeah, he has, and his skating ability has been real elusive, the way he spun out of the defensive zone and got the Flyers up and out.
Now the Flyers fourth line trying to go to work here. Ronaldo. It skips to the corner. Novak will move it up and out of the zone. It will make its way across the goal line for icing. And an offensive zone draw upcoming for the Flyers.
Well, it's time to start thinking about your holiday party plans. Purchase a suite for a select December or January Flyers game and receive one autographed puck per guest and one autographed Flyers jersey. You can call 215-389-9500 to get in on this holiday offer.
Face off here to the left of Roberto Luongo, who's only seen 3 shots here in the second period. Flyers, for the most part this year, been a good team in terms of getting pucks on net. It's been something Craig Berube has been preaching since the beginning of training camp. You got to do more of it here in this game. Long pass by Mason ahead to Raffl. Raffl wrapped up by Ekblad, who takes him down and off the puck. But then Raffl gets it back to Voracek around behind the net. Centers the shot, and Luongo stops Luke Schenn. Puck bouncing high in the air over the glass. That's Luongo's biggest test of the second period right there.
We saw Steve Mason's puck handling there. It's a time when the team needs to start going the other way. We used to see Brodeur do this often for the New Jersey Devils. Push the pace and see if you can't get some more shots on goal. He does exactly that by getting the puck up, and then Michael Raffl and Voracek went to work before Luke Schenn gets stopped by Luongo.
That's a good quick play by Voracek behind the net. Luke Schenn recognizing that there's nobody over there defending that turf, and he gets a good shot through on Luongo.
Drop the puck out in the neutral zone. Well, maybe they will. Simmons not happy with Kopecky. They take chops at each other, and they'll both get penalties.
Panthers will take that trade off. And now Thornton trying to have words with Simmons as well.
Well, Thornton acquired to be sort of the policeman for the Panthers, but as you said right now, Gerard Gallant's probably over there saying, hey, let it be right here. We take their leading goal scorer. And we'll take him off the ice. Kopecky a fourth liner most of the time.
Well, Kopecky and Simmons just kind of hacking away at each other, and Wayne Simmons, it's not a situation where Kopecky wants to drop the gloves there. And Sean Thornton, who's certainly adept at it, comes into the defense of his teammate. Simmons, again, just trying to get things going. You know, you get a 1-0 game like this, you both end up going in for a slashing call here off the whistle. This is where things get a little bit heated in a tight game like this. Got to make sure you keep your discipline. You don't want to go alone to the penalty box.
All right, after play had started, the horn went off. The period is not over. 2:48 on the clock, but there might be a timing issue, so the referees blow the whistle.
You know, guys, I had an opportunity to talk to Ron Hextall. I was talking to him before the game about how exactly you go about getting a Carlo Koliakovo, who had not signed with him. He's back in Mississauga, junior team in the Ontario League, training and skating. You know what he said? He goes, about 3 weeks ago, we had a list of 19 players. And we sorted the list, we shortened the list, and we came up with Koliakovo as our best candidate at the end of the day in terms of what we could sign him for monetarily, what they had left, and how much they were willing to spend. And they ended up getting him on a two-way deal. Very, very fair cap number. And this is a guy that's played, quite a while, plays very hard. He's been bitten by the injury bug in the past, but one that made sense for the Flyers and brings that also a little bit, quite a bit of experience to the team.
So the Flyers, Cole Yakubu into the practice routine yesterday, but not quite in game shape. He had been working out with OHL team of Mississauga, Ontario, but that's a little bit different than playing in an NHL game, so they'll get him a little bit closer to game shape. Perhaps we'll play against Edmonton at home on Tuesday night. 4-on-4 hockey here with the Concurrent Miners. Here's Couturier around behind the net, taking a look, centering it, save Luongo as he stops Streit. Great setup by Couturier, but Streit in front, denied by Luongo.
Heads up play by Mark Streit. 4-on-4, the defenseman Streit sneaks into the offensive zone, and Brayden Schenn and Couturier do a nice job of exchanging that puck in a misdirection play, and the backhand feed is right on the tape. Mark Streit quick to get it to the net, and Luongo again closes the door.
Now they'll drop the puck to Bobby Lou's left. Zato to Schultz, and now Voracek protecting that puck. Finds Schultz for the shot. Juggling type of save there by Luongo. The puck controlled by Boyes, who throws it back to Mitchell, and now Kulikov. For Fleischmann, he overskated. Giroux handles, but he has to take it out to the neutral zone. He'll go cross ice to Voracek. Voracek looking to get it back in front, but Kulikov was ready for that. Boyes the other way, 2-on-2 with Fleischmann. Fires an in-on goal. Stick save Mason. Fleischmann spilled, and the Flyers get to it. Del Zotto joining the rush. Del Zotto right up the gut. Now the right wing feed. Voracek off the wall with it. Hands off to Giroux. Giroux, the shot! Save Luongo with the blocker. Now it's Voracek again. Voracek trying to knife his way through the checking. That cross-ice pass ends up in the corner as it went off of a leg. And finally out to the neutral zone. Luke Schenn will have to hustle back to get to it.
Good exchange there by the Flyers through the neutral zone, leading to that opportunity for Giroux, and Luongo with that blocker steered it to the corner right away.
Belmar could not hang on to that pass from Del Zotto, and now Mitchell ahead to Upshaw. He'll bounce one in toward Mason. Mason's going to accept that one and take the face-off.
4-on-4, the Flyers generating a couple of scoring chances, and there's Del Zotto again leading the rush, opening up that space for Voracek to walk across. There's the wrist shot by Giroux. Look at the blocker of Luongo, though, knew exactly where he wanted to push that puck away from the front of the net. He's made some real smart decisions in that goal and looks very comfortable back in that Panthers net again.
16 saves and some testers here in the last 3 or 4 minutes as the Flyers have really had their best offensive play of the game, I would say, here in the later stages of the second period. Here's Couturier moving up. Couturier gets some space. He's hooked. Penalty. Centers. It goes all the way through. Delayed call. Here is Streit to Grossman. Grossman right back to Streit. And that pass across tipped, and then Kopetsky touches it. The whistle. The Concurrent Miners over, so it'll be a 5-on-4 for the Flyers. 48 seconds remaining in the period.
This penalty here on Olsen, number 4 for Florida. And what a great move here by Couturier. You know, he caught him, got looking down. As soon as you put your head down for a sec in this league, you're going to get burned, and that's exactly what happened with Olsen. Good, really good play, tried to kick it out. An excellent move by Couturier, showing that offense we know he has, guys, and certainly plays that he made junior. Get away with him sometimes. Real good play right there, and a good opportunity.
Leads to a power play. Melissa Spots. And the Flyers can put some money in her pocket and tie this game. Here is Giroux tipping to Streit. Streit right back to the captain along the wall. Side of the net. Simmons turns, holds, fires. It goes up over the cage, perhaps off a stick. Then it hits the referee behind the net. Simmons for Giroux. 30 seconds in the period. Giroux holding on. Taking a look and then going back. Streit shot. Save. Luongo. Simmons reaching for the rebound. Steered it wide. Lecavalier to the puck. Turning with it and then giving to Giroux. Back out. Streit down low, and I think he was looking for Lecavalier there, but it was cut off and cleared all the way down. 10 seconds remaining in the period. Flyers would have to hustle up here. Streit takes a look and then goes to Giroux. 5 seconds, and they're running out of time. Giroux will just fire it ahead. It misses Voracek, and that is it for period number 2. No scoring here in this second stanza. The goaltenders had all the answers this time around, as Mason and Luongo keep the teams off the board. It's still 1-0 now through 2 here in South Florida. And tonight's Flyers-Panthers second period was brought to you by Mazda. Mazda is KBB.com's lowest cost to own brand over 5 years. By the Pennsylvania Lottery, tonight's Powerball jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $159 million. Pennsylvania Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. Players must be 18 years or older. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. John Bork and Bill Clement are back. Delaware Valley Honda intermission report follows after these messages. Minutes complete here at the BB&T Center. Here are your statistics brought to you by Rothman Institute at Jefferson.
Flyers evened up the shots on goal late in the period and numerous chances in the last 5 minutes. Roberto Luongo's been very good when called upon in this game, and Panthers with a decided advantage in face-offs. The Flyers want to improve upon that and win some offensive draws here in the third period.
GMC NHL update. Caps and Tampa Bay playing. Lightning, of course, fresh off their win over the Flyers the other night. Nikita Kucherov has been hot of late. He scores right there to give the Lightning a 3-2 lead, but Brouwer came back to tie that one up at 3. Carolina Hurricanes looking for their first victory of the season. That's the second goal of the night for Elias Lindholm. Yuri Talusti's added another goal. 3-0 Carolina over Arizona. Hurricanes 0-6-2, trying to become the last NHL team to get a victory. Well, vote now for this important nonprofit organization. Way supports families of children with cancer. Michael's Way. We made our votes earlier on.
We did?
Actually, Bill Clement was working that game.
Yep.
Claude Giroux readying himself for this third period faceoff, as the Flyers need to find some offense against a team that has been so stingy this year. We told you earlier, only 5 even strength goals allowed all year. The Flyers have had their chances with the power play, and in fact they begin this third period with 1 minute and 12 seconds of power play time. So with a fresh sheet of ice, good opportunity here for the Flyers, see if they can do anything with it. Mason setting the puck up for Mark Streit. Streit weaving his way to the neutral zone. And the cross ice pass is intercepted, and back the other way go the Panthers. It's McKenzie, the backhander, save Mason, rebound. He made the save, another rebound, and he stopped the Panther in tight. That was Kopetsky, so Mason had to make 3 saves in that one sequence to keep the Flyers within 1.
The last one was a big one too. The puck was laying right there, and he kept his pad on the ice.
Now back the other way. 33 seconds on the power play. Here's Streit to Giroux. He lost it. And the other way goes Upshaw. Upshaw wide to the left wing, will wind and fire, gloved by Mason, and he'll hang right on to it. And the Flyers not taking advantage of this big opportunity here early in the third.
It's the Panthers that end up getting 3 or 4 shots on goal, and this time Mason holds on to Upshaw's attempt.
I think this, at the same time, as much as you don't like to see it, it gives Steve Mason confidence making these good saves. And you know, by the Flyer power play, it's way too good an opportunity, and even the last shot by Upshaw coming in on that wing, top of the circle. But, you know, Flyers got to get themselves together in the power play. You don't know how many of these they're going to have left in the third.
Michael Del Zotto moving left wing, and now the rink-wide feed for Couturier. Final 10 seconds of the bad advantage. Braden Schenn right back to Couturier, and now to the point. Del Zotto, Couturier across ice. Schultz will have to play that off the boards. Just plays it in along the wall. Schenn could not catch up to it. The power play is over. Couturier for Schenn, tipped away. Couturier gets it back. Pass in the slot, but well marked there was Reed. And now it's Brian Campbell. So the Flyers power play now 0 for 3 in this game, and 1 for the last 16 after a great start to the season. It has cooled off. Full strength hockey. As Voracek speeds to center ice. Voracek in across the line as his pass tipped And it goes high in the air over the glass and out of play. Billy Mitchell went into the boards as that play came to its conclusion. He's a little bit slow getting up. We tell you the answer to the Jeep Trivia question. You're looking at the answer. Gord Murphy, assistant coach for the Flyers, an original Panther. He also was an assistant coach here, but as a player for the Panthers, 142 points in 410 games played. His son played here as a member of the Arizona Coyotes just the other night. And his son spending a lot of time here in the South Florida area. Obviously, Gord was a player.
A lot of that happening lately. Good to see.
Flyers to the puck here as again they try to create some offense against this stingy team. Back out to Grossman. Takes it back, and then the shot deflected out high, hits the glass behind the net. Now Giroux to it. Giroux trying to set up, but his block hits a loose glove behind the net. And the puck controlled by Florida and moved ahead. Scotty Upshall across to Bjugstad. They say it's onside. Bjugstad, the angle shot, save made by Mason, and he will hold right on to it. Flyers have turned it around in the third period after starting the year being outscored 7-2 in their first 3 contests. They've outscored the opponents now 12-7 over their last 7, and as a result tied with a couple teams for most third period goals.
Conditioning, work ethic, and pushing through at the end. A lot of the reasons why the Flyers have been able to score as much and as often as they have in the last few games, and they want to dig deep here and find a way to get one past Roberto Luongo. That's looked very confident.
Off the draw, though, it's Roback with a shot and the save made by Mason. As he has held his team within 1 with a couple of nice stops here in this third period. Now the other way, I got the puck to the Florida line and into the zone, but not deep into the zone. Collision in center ice, the puck bouncing across ice. Belmar checked there by Roback. Flyers get back to it. And Luke Schenn will turn with it. Gives to Ronaldo. Zach Ronaldo stripped of the puck by Trocheck, but the Flyers have it back. Brandon Manning across. Manning with a backhanded pass. His 12th NHL game. Brayden Schenn bunting that one across ice. The Panthers just shuttle that one back out through the neutral zone. Del Zotto spin move and moving on up with it. The right wing feed to Couturier. Del Zotto goes to the net. Couturier takes the shot. It's blocked. Reed to it. Back out to the point. Nick Schultz's shot blocked. And it'll roll back out to Del Zotto. They'll send it in along the boards behind the net. Reed and Brayden Schenn, but it's Gabranson emerging with the puck. Now boys across to Jokinen. Feed for Fleischmann. They'll just twist it deep into the Philadelphia zone. Jokinen first to it. Couturier gets to him though and knocks it away. And Del Zotto will get to Reed. We approach the 4-minute mark of this third period. Reed up the right wing. He's getting that puck deep. Reed's going to chase with Gabranson, and Gabranson got it to Kopecky. Kopecky, the right wing feed. McKenzie flings one wide of Mason, goes after it. Tied up by Grossman, and the Flyers clear. This is going to go all the way down though, and icing is called.
Well, the Flyers all-for-1 deal for November 4th game includes an appearance by Flyers GM Ron Hextall and President Paul Holmgren. All-you-can-eat tickets start at $88 online at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com, and an important defensive zone face-off here. As the Panthers try to extend their lead, they just missed on their last win in the offensive zone. Mason came up with yet another big save.
5 shots for the Panthers in this third period. Most of them have been testers. Maybe all of them. McKenzie backhanding that one behind the net. Grossman all tied up with Kopecky. Now it's McKenzie. Back into the corner. Kopecky, veteran forward, around behind the net. He's got Sean Thornton. Long time Bruin. Back out. That shot by Campbell deflected just wide. Brayden Schenn. Checked by Ekblad. Flyers able to poke it out to the neutral zone. Panthers have it back. Here is Brian Campbell. Now Ekblad. For Upshall and into the Philadelphia zone. Game number 499 in the career of Scotty Upshall. And hit the big milestone. His next game for Florida. Flyers have the puck here. Giroux dropping it off for Manning. Brandon Manning with a pass in center. Voracek looking for some ice room. Really wasn't anything there. He gets knocked down way after he played the puck in penalty. Interference call against Florida. The Flyers with another big chance with a power play here.
Just a late hit from Scotty Upshall. Voracek had moved the puck into the offensive zone and went to chase after it, and Upshaw stood him up there, knocked him down, and the referee in good position from the neutral zone puts the arm up, and Scotty just stuck the back or the rear out there, and Voracek goes down, and the Flyers have another power play chance here to get one past Roberto Luongo.
Gerard Gallant does not appear to be pleased with that call. Tim Peel and Francis Schreier, referees here tonight. So Giroux, Cavalier, Simmons up front, Streit and Voracek on the points. They're going to do this face-off over again. As you look at the McDonald's power play payoff contestant, Gene Bildner. And they make sure the clock is correct, and now they'll drop the puck. And the Flyers get control. Here is Streit. Deals to Giroux. Quick shot, block, bounces to Lecavalier, but he could not do much with it. It went to the corner. Simmons back up the wall, gets through Giroux and goes all the way down. What do you see with the power play, Jonesy, that is lacking right now?
Shot selection and bodies in front, and that's where Wayne Simmons comes in. He'll be out there looking for the rebounds, and having Vinny back in the mix opens up that shot in the high slot that we saw a lot from Scott Hartnell when he was here.
Here is Voracek back out. Streit to Voracek, but it hopped over his stick. He hustles back to it, but his pass is intercepted. Kopecky goes the other way with it. Streit is back. Kopecky will stop, turn, look to waste some time, and then just decides to roll it deep. 1:10 on the power play. Here is Streit. Right wing feed Giroux. Stripped of the puck by Olsen, who clears all the way down.
And that was just overstaying the shift. The Flyers pressing, trying to get things done here to get things tied up, and you end up staying on the ice too long before you send that second unit out there.
Couturier gets it in. Reed nudges it ahead. Second unit out. Delzato across. Schultz. Slap pass, and the redirection stopped by Luongo. Reed was in a good spot there, and Schultz found him, but Luongo was ready. 32 seconds on the power play. Delzato again racing up the ice. And he was checked. Did get the puck deep though. Go after it with Kulikov. Puck bounces high in the air. Rolls back around to Delzato. He'll spin it up the wall. Couturier for Schenn. To Couturier. Looking. Waiting. And then centering for Reed. The shot save. Rebound. Couturier across for Schultz. He waits. Nothing there. He'll turn back with it. Power play winding down. In fact, it is over now. Back to full strength of the Panthers. Here's Couturier to Reed. Reed, Arister off the glove of Luongo and then cleared past Delzato all the way down. This will be icing against Florida. But the Panthers have killed off another Philadelphia power play.
Some good quality chances there with the second unit. And now Craig Berube, after allowing the Giroux line to get a bit of rest, throws them right back out there. Couturier and Delzato doing a nice job of switching positions. Delzato went down low on the forecheck, and Couturier waited for Delzato to return before he went back up the ice and set up Matt Reed. Looks like we're going to have a timeout here from the Florida Panthers. They had their defenders on the ice for an extended period of time while short-handed, and Gallant elects to use his timeout right now.
Well, our Hyundai great save of this hockey game belongs to Steve Mason. And you'll see it here coming in the form of that half breakaway by Florida. A little rebound in front of net. Thomas Kopecky there. It's originally McKenzie with that backhand shot, but Mason staying in there. And for that, he earns the Hyundai save of the game. Mason's had a good hockey game here tonight too, fellas. And, you know, coming back, you know, you wonder where he's at in a mental from a mental standpoint. You know, goalies are touchy sometimes. They're like starting pitchers, and Emery starting the last 4 games. Mason's come back. He's looked great in this hockey game, and I think that's an important step for him.
Certainly has done his part to give the Flyers a chance in this game, and that's all you can ask from your goaltender. McKenzie did not clear the zone, but Voracek will take it out to center, then fling right back in. Luongo couldn't knock it down. Giroux back toward the net. It rolls to Luongo, and he covers up. 12:17 remaining in the third. Welcome back to South Florida. Panthers with the lead here in the third. Flyers heading back home after the game tonight, and they will be home for a while. 2 weeks, in fact. Their next game, Tuesday night, the Edmonton Oilers come calling in South Philadelphia. Our coverage beginning with Flyers pregame live at 6:30. Oilers and their winning streak snapped recently, but they've been playing better hockey of late. There's a breakdown. Oilers, then these Panthers, and the Avalanche. So Western play there. 2 of the 3 teams from the West coming to Philadelphia. The Flyers next trip to the road, November the 15th. 2 full weeks at home, and they play 6 of the next 8 games at the Wells Fargo Center. That puck will bounce and skip and roll to Mason. He'll cover up. They'd like to head home with a victory here. Get some points out of Florida. They were beaten in regulation by the Lightning.
An opportunity too with that with those home games too, JJ. Move yourself ahead of the pack a little bit. You know, you want to get on a roll, especially with those home stands. You end up having probably 3 sizable ones at the end of the year, and this one here will be a real big one for the Flyers.
Yeah, the points you can get in November count the same as those in March. And how many times teams look back and say, oh, if we hadn't had that little dip in November, we'd be okay, that kind of thing. So the Flyers, after making it through the tough October, as Jonesy had said earlier, want to keep their foot on the gas pedal here in November. They'll play 3 teams in a row starting here tonight, and obviously 2 of those times it is Florida that did not make the playoffs last year. But then after that, again, a tough stretch. 13 of 14 against teams that made the playoffs last year. So they'll have challenges at every turn in November as well. Here is Reed. Backhanding it along the wall. Campbell will send it to the boards. Big chop at it by Fleischmann. And with some help, he got it to center, but there's a hooking penalty coming up. Reed knocked down, and the Flyers will get another chance with a man advantage.
Looks like Jussi Jokinen is pleading his case to the referee. He heads into the penalty box. Take a look on the left-hand side of your screen. Matt Reed, 24 in white there, tripped up by Jokinen. Wasn't a whole lot, but the referee's right there, and in his mind it's a penalty, and the Flyers head back to the power play here. Top unit on the ice, and the top unit needs to get a couple more A-quality opportunities here to get one past Luongo.
Penalty killing has been a huge bugaboo for this Florida team for several years now. The Flyers trying to take advantage of it here, but again, they can't get control, or at least do much with it after getting that puck off the draw. And now the puck is down in the Philadelphia zone. Panthers trying to waste as much time as they can. Voracek comes up with it. He's knocked down as Streit carries on. Streit it across the line. The Flyers get set up. Here is Simmons. Or Giroux. And now out to the point. A shot by Streit, and ended up in front. It was backhanded wide by Schenn. Schenn back to Streit. And now across to Giroux. So Schenn out. As this puck comes across to Voracek, he's got time, the shot, and it's swatted away by Luongo, who came way out to challenge. Now Streit again to Giroux. Backs off. Giroux tried to get that through to Simmons. It was knocked away, and now Simmons recaptures, gets to Giroux, back behind the net, all the way around to Voracek. 55 seconds on the power play. Voracek to Streit for the big shot, deflected, and went out the outside of the post. Voracek fighting for the puck. Schenn got it back. Streit turns it across ice for Giroux. Pivots, looks to the net. Back out Streit. One-time blast. St. Luongo rebound is poked to the quarter boards. It was knocked away to the other side. Now Streit into the corner. That one cleared by Mitchell. Up and out of play. Did it deflect? That's the question. Flyers want a penalty here. Officials consulting. And we'll wait and see.
They're going to have a nice visit here. All 4 officials on the ice will give their 2 cents. It appeared like Mitchell batted the puck up and over the glass without touching the glass before it exited. And we'll get a look at it here. It's a bouncing puck. 33 in red there, bats it, and then sends it up and over the glass. So it's a penalty.
Yeah, it's a penalty, guys. And Mitchell went to swat it, and that's what happened. The penalty killer's retired. The Flyers' patience keeping that puck in there fatigued the Florida Killers. And Mitchell just trying to hack and whack at anything, ends up sending it up over the glass, and another opportunity, great opportunity here for the Flyers.
Flyers' #1 unit had been on the ice for the entire minute and 28 seconds of the first power play, so Craig Berube uses his timeout here and rests that unit.
Well, Craig Berube busy diagramming a play that he hopes can tie this hockey game.
Well, the Flyers will be back at the Wells Fargo Center this Tuesday to take on the Edmonton Oilers. It's a 7 o'clock start, and then on Thursday they square off against the Florida Panthers again, also at 7 p.m. Great seats are still available. Reserve your tickets now. And let's see if the Flyers can snap one around here and get one past Luongo, who has been very aggressive in the net.
32 seconds of two-man advantage time available for the Flyers here. They'll send out Voracek, Giroux, Denis Lecavalier joins Simmons and Streit. So Lecavalier replacing Brayden Schenn from what had been out on the ice. Giroux will take the draw against Derek McKenzie. He's by far the best face-off man for this Florida team. And Giroux on it cleanly to Streit. Lecavalier the shot, and Luongo able to make the save. Racing over to keep it in the zone is Streit. Makes the shot and then gives to Giroux. Giroux right along the goal line. Back out Streit. Leans into one. It's blocked by McKenzie out to center ice. Down to 15 seconds on the two-man advantage. Voracek gains the line. Voracek to Lecavalier. And now Streit down low. Giroux. Giroux waits to Lecavalier. The shot! And that one changed direction on the way in. Luongo took care of it. Flyers get it back. Here's Simmons trying to go cross crease, stopped and cleared all the way down, and they just missed Jokinen out of the box. Now Mason quickly back up ice. It's a 5-on-4. The pass to Lecavalier. Lecavalier fighting off the check, turns with it, centers, but it's blocked off. Jokinen takes it and clears. The Flyers now with 1:05 remaining on the penalty to Mitchell. Trying to tie this game. 6 power play opportunities. Voracek the shot, takes off, finds glass. Schenn could not come up with it. Fleischmann does, and he got it out to the center ice area. Flyers looking to change some players here. Couturier holding on to the puck, goes across ice. Delzato has it. He'll fling in. Around it goes. Campbell let it go. Couturier to the middle. Delzato deals. Nick Schultz the shot, blocked. Behind the net, Raffl turns with it and gets to Couturier. Couturier sizing things up. Centers, but on the backhand would have been Schenn, and they lost control, and it's cleared by Fleischmann.
Would have been a difficult shot there for Brayden Schenn. He had to take it from the backhand and move it to the forehand as he tried to adjust. The puck bounced on him.
One last rush with the power play. Delzato to Brayden Schenn in the middle. Raffl a shot, and a save made by Luongo. Raffl back to it in the corner. Centers. Schenn then turned it to the slot. Nobody home, and it's cleared all the way down by Olsen. The power play is over. The Flyers yet to find a way to solve the Florida penalty killing. Now less than 8 minutes remaining in this third period. It's still a 1-0 game. Turnover though. Umberger with the steal. Umberger in, swings wide, centers it. Nobody able to get to it for Philadelphia. Grossman back around behind for Umberger. Umberger leaned down by Olsen, works away from him. Wraparound try is stopped at the side of the net. Olsen then up the wall, and Upshaw could not clear. Flyers battling along the boards. Get it back to Grossman, who sends it in along the wall. Umberger and Campbell. Campbell crashed into. Crowd wants a penalty as they thought Campbell went into the boards head first. Grossman taken out hard along the boards by Upshaw as it gets physical now. Voracek back to Campbell, and now the Panthers look to move through center. Broken up though by Grossman. Nice play there to Belmar, but he overskated. Now turns with it and does bounce it into the Florida zone. Flyers need a change.
Pretty good shift there for the fourth line after the Panthers would have gained momentum from their kill of the 5-on-3. The Flyers' fourth line gets out there and jams some good hard working plays right down in the offensive zone.
Voracek to Giroux. Giroux is in. Drops it along for Delzato. And he'll get to Voracek in the corner. Left alone. He'll step in front. Voracek got a weak shot off, but it got caught up in skates. And Florida will clear. For a moment, the seat parted there for Jake Voracek, but couldn't do much with it. And now a steal. Down low, it's Thornton with a backhander. Save Mason. He didn't know where the puck was, but it bounced back out into the blue paint. Now the rush the other way. Giroux Giroux will just feather that one deep. Ekblad up the wall. Thornton tips, and it goes out to the neutral zone. 6:20 to play in the third. Flyers now at 30 shots on goal as they have peppered Luongo here in the second half of this hockey game.
He's been really aggressive too, getting out past the blue paint at times. Flyers might be able to get a backdoor play against him and slide one behind him.
Offside the call at the Florida line. Panthers here as we head toward the late stages of period number 3, coming up later on tonight on Comcast Sportsnet is Sportsnet Central. Let's get a preview with Harry Chickman and Jen Daniels. Thank you very much. Congratulations to Temple. Big football win for them. Right here, the Flyers trying to come from behind to win. You know, the Panthers, they don't have all that many leads over the last 2 seasons when leading after 2, but they've never lost in regulation when that's been the case since the beginning of last season. 16-0-1 when taking a lead into the third. They had the lead in this one. Flyers have done their best as far as getting chances, but Luongo's made some saves. Puck's just not going in for Philadelphia here tonight. 30 shots they have now. And they're looking for more here. They carry on in. It's LeCavalier. That shot easily handled by Luongo, and he'll squeeze it.
He's done a lot of that in this one. And the Panthers don't kill off that 5-on-3 if it's not for a couple of saves by Roberto Luongo. And he looks real confident. Didn't look that way at times in Vancouver, but he's settled in here as the Panthers netminder once again. Looks like he's found a happy place.
With Marty Brodeur having not found a team as yet. Roberto Luongo now the active leader in wins and shutouts. Streit knocks down a man, and that will be a penalty. The officials were looking, you know, to make a call against Philadelphia because there have been so many for Florida. Just human nature, and Streit here takes the man down, and now Florida power play.
Not a big argument for Mark Streit as the bouncing puck was there, but he didn't really move his leg and extend it in a way that at times you would get called for, but this time he is.
Well, our Toyota turning point in this hockey game, it belongs to Roberto Luongo and the onslaught of shots he was able to stop on the Flyers power play this period here. 6 for 6, the penalty kill of the Florida Panthers. That's the turning point, but most of it had to do with the great goaltending of Roberto Luongo.
Draw here is to the right of Mason with 5:41 to play. Mission number 1 for the Flyers now is to kill this off, stay within 1. Couturier will turn that puck out to the neutral zone. Fourth power play for Florida. They're onside as Boyes sends it wide of the net. Jokinen back out to the point. Ekblad across to Campbell. He'll wind. He'll fire. And that misses everything but the glass. Poke to the middle of the ice, and that'll drift out to the neutral zone. Flyers reaching for it, and they get to it. Good burst there by Vandevelde. Just Vandevelde around behind the Florida net, marked by Ekblad. And he holds Ekblad off long enough so Couturier could play it back, and the Flyers can waste some more time off the Panthers' power play. Luke Schenn finally sending it all the way down. Luongo gets to Campbell. 1:10 on the man advantage. Ekblad to Campbell. Penetrates the zone. Moves all the way around behind the net. Centered in front. Jam back around behind. And then Delzato tried to clear. Could not. It was knocked down. Here's Hayes. Checked. But turning with the puck. Holding on to it is Bjugstad. Behind the net the pass. Upshaw. And now back out to the point it goes. Ekblad across to Campbell. Back to Ekblad, he'll wind and fire and score! Aaron Ekblad, first of his National Hockey League career, the 18-year-old on the board. Power play goal makes it 2-0 Florida.
Talked about shot selection by the Flyers on their power play opportunities in this game. The Panthers do a nice job of selecting when to fire this one. And it's Ekblad that walks in, recognizes there's traffic in front, and for the second time in this game, the Panthers defenseman scores.
That's exactly right, Jonesy. You know what? He saw the traffic. That's where He's probably got a very, very high hockey IQ, sees the bodies in front, and takes a great shot towards the blocker side of Steve Mason, right to my right here, and that is a tremendous shot by the 18-year-old.
He scored 23 goals last year in the OHL, so he knows how to get the puck on goal. So the Panthers power play does what the Flyers could not. Tallies, and it's now a 2-0 Florida lead as we tick down to 4 minutes remaining here in the third period. And Willie Mitchell will clear this puck all the way down. Icing will be the call against the Panthers.
18-year-old defenseman picks up his first NHL goal out there at the 1-goal game on the back end of the power play. It shows you the confidence his head coach and Gerald Gallant has, and you can see the big smile there. No fear to put him out there in a key situation, and an 18-year-old kid buries it.
Well, the scouting report says mature beyond his years, big shot.
They nailed it.
Just witnessed all that in one shift right there. He made several really smart plays with the puck before he blasted one home. The puck kept in by the leg of Streit, but then worked past him. And finally it trickles down. And finally a hand pass is called. They'll step aside. 3:48 remaining in the third. Tonight's Flyers-Panthers game is brought to you by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buytoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. And by Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens. 3:48 to play, third period. And the Flyers trying to find a way to come back here have pulled Steve Mason. Empty net. 6 attackers on 5 for this offensive zone draw.
Pulled him against Tampa. Ray Emery in that case, and they picked up a goal, got to within 1. They try to pull the same thing here about a minute earlier.
Patrick Waugh, coaching Colorado, sort of brought this into the NHL last year. More and more coaches getting that goaltender pulled earlier in the game. You get an opportunity with an offensive zone draw, try to take advantage of it. Here is Streit. Across for Delzato. In along the wall to Voracek. Voracek takes a look back to Delzato. And the back to Voracek. Flutters one toward the slot, jammed away. Streit able to get to it. Broken stick for Voracek. Panthers all over the Flyers, but they get the puck to Simmons. Simmons twisting and turning in the corner, gets it back out. Streit to Delzato. And now Voracek with a new stick. Sent it toward the net, but it slid through the slot. Giroux gets it back to Streit. He'll wind, he'll fire, and it's blocked. Goes to the corner. Giroux tried to center it, blocked. Played to the boards by the Panthers. Thornton. It comes back out. Streit run over, or at least run into by McKenzie, and the puck does bounce to the neutral zone. Delzato is back. That empty net behind him. And now Streit looks to hit Voracek. Voracek tips it and now has it. Voracek full speed all the way around behind. Sent it back out in front. Loose puck, and a Flyer was dumped there. Couldn't get to it. And now dumped is Fleischmann. Crowd wants a penalty. They're not going to get it. Flyers get the puck back. 2:40 remaining in the third. They're rattled around the boards. Olsen and Voracek come together. Raffle got it to Schenn. Out into the high slot. Delzato, the pass, the shot, and Luongo. The save off of Claude Giroux.
Take a look at our Mazda top shelf performers, and we just saw one make another save in this game. Roberto Luongo. Calmly sliding across. He's in the zone in this one. And Mason, 28 saves in his return to the starting position. Michael Raffl, 5 shots on goal. Jussi Jokinen picks up his 5th assist, and Luongo, the story. But Aaron Ekblad picks up his first National Hockey League goal along the way as well.
They have the 35-year-old goaltender shining at one end of the ice, the 18-year-old at just about half his age. The goal at the other end of the ice. Drawn to the right of Luongo. Flyers continue with the empty net and extra attacker. Streit to Delzato. Delzato wrist shot blocked. Jabbed at by Hayes. Bounces high in the air and does make it over the glass and out of play. And they're going to keep the faceoff in the Florida zone.
Well, our Bud Light player of the hockey game here tonight belongs to no other than Roberto Luongo. He's been terrific at times and made the routine saves most of this hockey game. Already has stopped 33 of the shots to fly, all of the Flyer shots thrown his way. comes over from Vancouver last year, guys, and the spot he feels comfortable with here in Florida. He's been great in this hockey game. Bud Light player of the game.
Puck drop, Flyers get to it, bank it back out to the point right along the line. Voracek behind the net, centering pass. Couturier there, but he's tied up. LeCavier joins in the scramble for the puck. Couturier will get to it along the boards, trying to go back to the point. Kicked by Voracek. Great play there. It was the only play he had, but the Panthers still able to clear. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the third period. Voracek in, his pass across. Raffl after it, so is Giroux, but Hayes will move it down the ice. Flyers have to race back to get to it, and Voracek will. Jake Voracek again revving it up through the neutral zone. His pass tips and goes off the stick of Luongo to the corner. Raffl is jammed to Mitchell behind the net. He lifts it high off the glass and out of play, but off the glass first, so no penalty this time.
And Berube has to quickly get his next unit on the ice. Both teams have used their timeouts here in the third period. Trying to find your best 6 to put out that have a little bit of juice left. Try to get within 1 here.
Giroux against McKenzie on the draw. 91 seconds on the third period clock. Here's straight a shot. Save Luongo. It bounces in the blue paint. Still no whistle. And now the whistle, but the puck was loose. And a face-off will ensue. Flyers getting closer.
Man, Voracek's talking to Luongo there, shaking his head. The Flyers with a big blast on the point. It goes off the glove of Roberto Luongo, lays in the blue paint, and Wayne Simmonds just can't jam it home there as he gets the glove of Luongo in the way as he lays on his back and does a snow angel to keep that out. Referee loses sight of the puck there, so he blows his whistle, but it did squirt out towards Giroux on the other side.
Simmonds, a frustrated player right there. Great save on the first shot by Luongo, but then the second one, as far as did not get credit on that second shot, but it was right there for Simmonds. Good keep by Del Zotto. Simmonds turns with it and gives to Voracek. Back out Del Zotto. And now the pass to Streit. Down to 1:08 remaining. Giroux, quick shot deflects across. Voracek tried to center block. Second try. Net comes off its moorings. The net off its moorings as that puck came out, and so play stopped.
Wasn't sure if a Panther defender knocked that post off, but take a look from the overhead camera here on Luongo's glove save just on the last sequence there. Rolled on the pad, and there's Simmonds' chance, and Luongo followed it all the way. There's no luck involved in that. His eyes stayed on the puck, and he did whatever he could to keep it out of the net.
1:01 remaining now on the third period clock. The draw to the right of Luongo. Bjugstad will get that one back behind the net. Zotto, of course, pinching. Swings it back around, but there's Kulikov. Up the wall. Fleischmann banks it all the way down. That'll be icing against Florida. And there's your whistle. They wait until the Flyer gets to the hash mark.
Some big time pressure by the Flyers with the goaltender pulled here for the last 3 minutes of this hockey game. And Luongo just continues to stymie the offensive opportunities.
Yeah, you would think with that amount of time and the goalie pulled, there'd be a goal at one end of the ice.
Yeah.
Hasn't been. Luongo's made great saves. Flyers kept it in along the boards. Bjugstad couldn't find it. A kick attempt, sort of a whiff, and now Giroux will play it around behind the net. Voracek tipped high in the air. Giroux there, back to Streit. Across it comes Del Zotto. 28 seconds now. Streit with a shot. Save Luongo through the screen. Whatever traffic he had in front of him, he found the puck.
The size of Luongo has come in handy in this game. He's looked through some of these screens in front. That one, Simmonds was trying to take his eyes away, but Luongo saw it, swallowed it up, and no rebound opportunity.
Flyers had, what, 11 shots on goal right around the halfway point of regulation. They have 35 now, so they have certainly been able to get pucks on net, but have not been able to get them into the net. That Veteran goaltender Roberto Luongo. The Flyers win the draw here. Giroux tries a shot that's blocked aside by Bukestad. Goes out of play. Down to 19.7 on the clock.
You have to generate your own energy in a building like this. The Panthers not drawing well right now. They're looking to try to get that back in the right direction, but you have to bring it early. And the Flyers just couldn't muster that high energy that they have here in the last period or so.
More face-off. This one won by the Panthers. Flyers again swarming to the puck. Lozado tried to keep it in and did. It bounces across ice. Giroux backhands toward the net. Tipped. Loose puck. Voracek a shot. Save. Rebound. Lecavalier scores with 7.4 seconds remaining. Vinny Lecavalier gets on the board as he picks up his second goal of this season. And the Flyers within one, but only 7.4 seconds remaining.
And Simmons set up in front of the net, just whacks away at it. A quick shot late. Voracek jams away. Simmons gets pushed into the net from behind there, and Lecavalier ends up getting that loose puck and elevates it after Voracek's first attempt. Jammed home there by Lecavalier, and Simmons goes into the net just after the puck.
Well, they're going to talk about this one. Panthers were complaining, and they are going to go to Toronto.
Well, they're going to say Wayne Simmons went into the net and went right through Luongo. The question is, how did he get there? Was he pushed by a Florida player? Did he go right through the crease himself? And the Flyers, no matter what here, with 7.4 seconds, are setting up here for this play here. Mitchell comes out. You can see Willie Mitchell in front of the net, and then the play is going to be under review here. Simmons gets pushed in, so to me, this goal should be fine. Kulikov pushes Wayne Simmons into the net. The puck comes loose to Vinny at the far side.
More liberal work for the situation room in Toronto now on these goal situations, but right there, the officials explaining to them, I think, why they're going to Toronto, because on the goaltender interference, it's got to be called on the ice.
Yeah, this is just to see if the puck went over the line, and it did, and it's going to be a goal. And it won't take him much longer than this. Simmons, you can see, cross-checked in by Kulikov. It's a no-brainer that this will count, and Luongo is upset, but it had nothing to do with it. Point to center ice and drop the puck.
And here is the call from Francis Chiarot.
On the review, it's a good goal.
And so the Flyers now ready themselves for the draw at center ice. Goaltender still pulled, of course. See if they can somehow execute a play in 7.4 seconds toward the opposition net.
Got to win that face-off back and get the puck in deep, get in on the forecheck. There's enough time to get it to the net. We've seen it enough times.
Couturier and McKenzie on the draw. Voracek trying to bust it. Bottom of your screen there. And some time came off the clock, so they'll put the 0.6 of a second back on.
This is where the hybrid icing can hurt you. If it goes back to Streit and he fires it from his own zone, the Panthers are already back in the defensive posture. So the Flyers go forward with this faceoff.
And the puck is eventually dropped. It's sent in on goal by Giroux, then swept to the corner by Luongo. 2 seconds, up the wall, back toward the slot. Kulikov is there, and the horn sounds. Roberto Luongo doesn't get the shutout, but he does make 36 saves and backstop his team to the 2-1 victory. Panthers now 4-0-2 in their last 6 games. The Flyers go without a point in their trip to the state of Florida.
Panthers played some good defensive hockey in this one, especially early on when the Flyers started to generate opportunities. Luongo was there to close the door in the third period. Flyers will look back on some missed power play chances at the end of this game when they had the chances to get the momentum back. They could not get it done, and the Panthers end up winning this one.
Well, the Flyers back in action on home ice. They'll begin a home stand at the Wells Fargo Center. The Edmonton Oilers in town on Tuesday night, 6:30. A start time with Flyers pregame live. The Flyers and the Oilers. Here tonight, Panthers able to hold off the Flyers by a final score of 2-1. For the entire crew, led by producer-director Brian Cooper, director Mike Mulligan, graphics coordinator Beth Ely, as well as Keith Jones and Chris Terry, and I'm Jim Jackson. Once again, the final score from Sunrise, the Panthers 2, the Flyers 1. Stay tuned for Flyers post-game live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance.